So I want to then identify, I think, 3 areas of focus for us in our engagement with Europe, which I think are critical in anticipating how broadband deployment is going to affect incumbent business models. First is privacy. This is an important week in Europe because the European Commission is going to roll out its very important privacy regulation and directive, first major rewrite of the privacy laws here since the 1995 directive. We are very, very, very engaged with the European Commission and with members of Parliament, Council, because our goal is to the extent we can, try to ensure that there is an interoperable standard for privacy regulation in the transatlantic marketplace. This is vitally important to both European and American businesses. Some of, I notice, are represented in this room. Companies that are doing business in both geographies. We have to ensure that they can have a, if not perfect harmony in our privacy laws, that's probably overly ambitious, but at least an interoperable standard, particularly when it comes to cloud computing, which is going to revolutionize the way people use the internet. It will allow people to access on these smartphones incredible amount of computing power, which was not available to individuals and small businesses previously. The other is intellectual property. As people in the content creation businesses are confronting new distribution models brought about by the internet and broadband, it's challenging the fundamentals of our intellectual property protection. The challenge is that we haven't seen yet the full evolution of business models that enable content providers to get compensated for content separate from control of distribution. And that's what this whole online IPR debate is about, is what business models are going to evolve to allow content providers to be compensated for content over distribution networks that they no longer control. And you know, the scary thing about it is that those models are still evolving, and in the meantime, content providers are experiencing theft of their property. So intellectual property is very key, and I know here in Europe you're struggling with it as well to figure out how you're going to update your copyright regime, your patent regime, to perhaps come up with a more pan-European approach. And the last and third issue that I'll talk about, which is sort of in the public policy arena, which is important, is what's happening with global internet governance. Many folks within the ITU, the International Telecommunications Union, a UN organization, would like to see internet governance taken to government control. We're in an active dialogue with people in the European Commission about this, but this is a sleeper issue. It's vitally important because, in my view, some countries, particularly in the developing world, would like to see more control of the internet by governments because they'd like to see more of a transfer of value from corporate holders to governments. There's also, we've seen in the last year a dramatic use of the internet to empower and liberate people in places like Libya and Egypt and elsewhere. And some governments would like more control of the internet for the simple reason that it allows them to control the flow of information in their societies. And this is an issue that I think Europe and the United States need to be much more engaged together in staying on top of this issue.